Hey, this is Stacia, and I'm going to show you my round 3 game from the Parma Chess Club on September 20th, 2022. And in this game, I played a new opponent named Ng4. I was in the lower quad, and I'm sporting a low rating, so not too happy about that, but don't worry, I will bounce back. And, okay, so I had one win and one loss so far, and I was looking to hopefully get a win this game. So let's have a look. My opponent started with e4. I went e5. He went knight f3, knight c6, d4. And my opponent was playing very quickly, which is not unusual in the opening, but this persists. Takes, knight f6. He's still playing very quickly. Now, knight c3 is actually considered to be like the club way of playing against this, because there are very interesting positions that arise after e5, queen e7, queen e2, knight d5, c4, bishop a6. And I've seen, like, I want to say Ng4 or I don't know, some super GMs. I've seen them play this way, and it is interesting. And I've also played this way against training games and lost because it's not that easy. But we didn't go into this. Instead, he played the club way. Knight c3, bishop e4. Okay, he's protecting his pawn. Okay, d5, attacking the pawn again. And queen to e2, protecting it. But queen e2, I have to admit, when I saw this move, that I thought was a little strange. It doesn't seem like the queen belongs there to me at all, because I can castle and quickly put a rook on e8 across from that queen. So I didn't feel that was right. So I just simply castled. And yes, I'm inviting e5. But here is where I will tell you that studying chess pays off. Because I had a game in the margin open? Oh, wait, this one, I was thinking something else. I had a game, and I want to say the Joe Yun Memorial, where my opponent played an idea similar to this one, where they go e5, and I was thinking about knight g4, and I was worried about the move f4, right? Because, okay, if we think this through, e5, knight g4. Now, part of my idea, the main part, is that I want to take this pawn. Okay, if I take and the queen takes, I have rook e8, and that's going to lose material for white, although not quite a lot. Just a pawn mostly. But okay, but they can play bishop f4 here. And if they play bishop f4, I go rook e8. And okay, it's not so clear what's going on, right? So, but another way that white could play is f4. And if they go f4, let's take a look at this knight. Is this knight good or bad? This knight cannot go here. Oops, definitely can't go there. Can't go here, can't go here, can't go here. I mean, like, this knight is terrible, right? Like, h3 is going to get trapped. So, so in the game back at the Joyo Memorial, I was scared of f4, and that is why I didn't play knight g4. After that game, an expert chess player, actually very close to master, Ben Ashami, pointed out to me that knight g4, f4 is no good for white because these dark squares are like so juicy, blah, blah, blah. And you have bishop c5 and queen b6. In that game, I had queen b6. Okay, and maybe queen h4 and blah, blah, blah. So, so I took that to heart and I studied that. Then in this game, I calculated it, and those ideas I studied played into my calculations. So I thought e5, knight g4, and I thought if f4, I would have a lot of play, but he castled first. Okay. But I thought if he castled, like, I might even have queen h4. I was definitely thinking about queen h4. But I felt like it was premature. Why not just h3? h3 is probably okay. Because now I can't take and pin the queen because he did castle. So I just went rook e8 first. And then f4 happened. And I was very excited because this is what I have been looking at. There's bishop c5 check coupled with queen h4. And I feel like between those two dark square attacks, it's a little too much. So I played queen h4. And he played h3. And I think this just loses the game. So let's go back for a second. Because I think had he played g3, this is a little more testing. I'm not exactly sure what to do here. Like if we go queen h3, I feel like there's just queen g2. I do not want to trade queens. Maybe this is okay, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. Like, can't he even pin us now? This doesn't... I don't know. I feel like the initiative has switched somehow. So, like, after g3, maybe queen h5 is an option. I know we're placing ourselves in a pin. But on the other hand, we do have check. I mean, we could even check first. Let's try that. Check. King h1 and queen h5. Oh, I studied this earlier. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of pressure on the dark squares, specifically h2 and f2. That's going to tie down the queen a bit. And on knight a4, we have bishop d4. Yeah, and maybe we can play with rook b8 and just play on a game from here. Okay, so that's interesting, but the reason I'm bringing that up is because queen h4 is actually a mistake. Way more precise is check immediately, but let's try to understand why. Now, you should notice that you cannot block with the bishop. Okay, there's two guys on that. You cannot block. Okay, that's first. So king h1 is basically the move. But here, we could play knight takes h2. This is what I missed. I mean, I think had I seen knight takes h2, I would have played bishop c5 check first. But of course, I was planning queen h4 all along. Now here they can play queen h5. Yeah, I did look at this earlier. So that threatens mate and threatens the knight. So what do we do? Well, it actually doesn't threaten mate. We can take the rook and play king f8. We can really do this. I mean, if they tried to check us, we remove the king and attack the queen. That looks not too bad. And if check, it's actually a good question. Us engine. It says black's winning after f6. Wow. Well, blacks have tons of material. I mean, let's be honest. It's a lot of material. I guess we can afford something like this. They can check again. We just go king d6. I mean, okay, I guess this is right. I mean, I don't know. I would have a hard time playing this way, but black's completely winning because now... Oh, wait a minute. I missed rook h8. Yeah, black is winning. There is rook h8. Sorry. Okay. Well, if I could see that deep, I would be a grandmaster. I can't see that deep. Okay, so anyway, rook e8, f4, queen h4. Now, I do think white is busted here. If they play h3, which he did. So I went check here, knight f2, king here. And I did see this in advance. I saw that bishop takes h3. I think it's just crushing. Like, what do you do against this? Not quite sure. Not quite sure at all. And I still had like about 15 minutes on my clock, so this is plenty to calculate. Yeah, and then I saw that if he does accept the bishop, it's just forced mate in 2, because after takes, here, and mate. And that was basically the game. So I'm happy to say that I took a win. I had 0 inaccuracies, 0 mistakes, but 1 blunder. My blunder was apparently queen h4 instead of bishop c5 check. Those lines are very different. So yeah, chess is amazing, right? Like that one move, but the lines were so very different. So very different. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with more chess. Okay, bye.